name is Adam and welcome to Driven Nashville. It is 100 degrees today, but I gotta say I'm very excited because behind me is a 981 Porsche GT4 in one of the best specs you're probably gonna find. Porsche shipped roughly 1,000 of these units to the United States. This is a 2016 vehicle car, but these are still holding their value like crazy, still going over MSRP even to this day, because these cars are just fantastic. I mean, they really are incredible, fun, light, mid-engine, 385 horsepower from the Carrera S 911 motor, 310 foot-pounds of torque, 0 to 60 in roughly 4.2 seconds, runs the quarter mile in 12.4. But the spec on this particular car, I mean, it is so on point. You have blue metallic paint, you have PCCBs, right? You have inside is yellow contrast stitching, Alcantara, leather, aluminum, I mean, fire, as you saw in the initial montage, right? And then you have the 6-speed here, the 981 carbon bucket seats, as you can see. Just a fantastic spec. Absolutely love this car. I think you all are really going to enjoy this particular video. Today I'm going to go over some of the exterior highlights, going to go over a little bit on the interior details, do a point of view drive, and just see how this thing performs. All right, first of all, I want to talk about this paint, which is called Sapphire Blue Metallic. Unbelievably good color in person. And I gotta say, the paint on this particular vehicle, fantastic, right? It must have been recently paint corrected because there's hardly any clear coat scratches. Overall condition of the vehicle, this particular car came from Colorado, is very good. I gotta say, there's a little bit of road rash around it, right? You can tell that the car wasn't necessarily PPF'd. There's a little bit of road rash here as well, you know, where you're gonna get some kick up from these Sport Cup 2 tires. But bottom line is, it's in pretty darn good shape. All right, heading on to the inside of the vehicle. Now, these are the $4,700 981 carbon bucket seats. So let's talk about one of the drawbacks of the car. You can see here, very little wear because the car only has 10,000 miles, but when you get in and out, this is what you have to pretty much lean on. There is some adjustability. You can pull this forward, right, and it'll slide back. I'll go ahead and demonstrate that for you right now. So you pull it up and it goes back. This will adjust up and down, so you can adjust the overall tilt of the seat, right? So it goes like this, but you cannot adjust this. This is one solid piece of carbon fiber. I will say, other than getting in and out, they are pretty comfortable. Like, here, I'm inside the car now, right? Okay. You can see it's pretty tight. It really is tight here. And you have to kind of slide into the vehicle. So overall, the seats aren't that comfortable. It is a drawback to the car. Once you're physically sitting down in the seat, right, you could take a 45-minute to an hour trip. You could definitely go longer if you wanted, okay? Absolutely saying you can. But overall, I would probably encourage you, if you're 6 feet tall like me, a little bit on the heavier side, I'm a little over 200 pounds, right? You probably want to go for the 14-way adjustable seats. They're still very sporty. I'll go ahead and link to the description here of the Porsche Boxster Spider. The white and red interior is fantastic spec that I did recently. And you can go ahead and check out that. That one had a very good spec, different spec than this, right? But a really nice spec. All right, so when you want to go ahead and turn the vehicle on, it is Le Mans style. So you want to go ahead and put it here, put your foot on the clutch, and there you go. Now, one of the things you're almost always gonna do when you get in a GT4 is you wanna put the sport button on and the exhaust button. That really opens up this car. And then when you actually get on that fuel, it sounds fantastic. I really think this car is one of the best sounding engines that exist. Very rare, very desirable engine, okay? Especially for a GT4. You know, if you buy a Cayman, you know, it comes with a 2.4 liter, then it goes to the 3.4 liter, and then this is the 3.8 liter. So you can get different options, different specs on the cars, but it's a really nice place to be. You can see there's no buttons on the steering wheel. All your controls for cruise control and the stock. This right here adjusts the screen. When you turn the car on, you can see here the screen displays pretty much everything you'd want it to display, okay? So you have what phone's connected, and you can see here you have your radio station, you have your vehicle temperature, trans temperature, oil pressure, Look at that, it's reading 102 right now. My God, it's hot. Just try to give me some credit, guys. I mean, it is baking out here. You can see your torque figures, your G-force meter, very, very cool. It tells you what gear you're in, and then you also get your tire pressure. So pretty much everything you're gonna wanna know. You can see I'm getting 16.2 miles a gallon lately. I don't think I've been babying the car, so you probably could get that up to 18 or 20, but I've been having a good time. This does have the smoking package, which you can see here allows you to have this nice cover. You do not have the Sport Chrono in this particular vehicle, okay? So if you did want to get that as an upgrade, that would have been located right about there. Again, you don't really need the Sport Chrono. A lot of guys who do track days are going to use apps and whatnot, but it is still a cool feature to have. It looks good. However, when you put this car in sport mode, it gives you all of the performance of the vehicle. So it's not like Sport Plus necessarily opens anything up. All right, let's go take it for a drive. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. In my last final thoughts here, you know, one of the unique features of the GT4 is you have this strap. This particular car, you also have yellow seat belts. And then otherwise, it's just really high quality. It's got a Bose upgraded sound system in it. Sounds pretty good. It's just got a lot of nice details here. Love the aluminum. If you don't know, these are where the, you know, basically these are where they pop in and out, okay? And then you can see nothing with the engine. You don't see any engine, but I will tell you, hear it. It is literally right behind you. This is a mid-engine car, as a lot of you guys know. And then another detail that might be fun to point out is because these are the carbon buckets, you do have the ability to put racing harnesses here if you'd like. So overall, a very, very cool car on the inside. Very high quality, you know, build quality for Porsche is fantastic. You know, when you're putting music with bass on, you hear very little rattling. When you're smashing through the gears, the car is just tight. The seats are great, they don't rattle. It's not like driving a Tesla. It's just one thing that Porsche has always been on their game about. And I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm done for the interior. Let's go ahead and take it for a spin. If you want to know what the center console looks like, there you go. And let's go and get on with this review. I'm ready to drive this thing. I think you guys are going to love this car. We are fighting rainstorms today. One of the things I'll tell you is the car has the ability to hold itself in place before you go, which is very nice on a hill like I was right there. You know, it's electronic steering, but I gotta say, you know, it's really, really good. It really, really is. I've got it in sport mode, like I said earlier, so when I'm doing any kind of blipping, you can still heel toe, although if you put it in sport mode, it does automatically do the rev match for you. So from that point of view, you don't really need it, or really need to heel toe. But I gotta say, it is so good, this car. You know, you really gotta try to avoid the speed bumps. They do beat you up a little bit. But man, I tell you, the gearbox, the way the engine feels, almost bottomed out right there. I mean, it's really, really good. You know, you can smash on it all you want. It really is a lot of fun, this car. I think you're really going to enjoy driving it. Very, very balanced in the corners. The engine, can't beat it. So you can see right there, you don't necessarily need to be smashing the gas all the time. And now I'm heading back into the rain again. Man, you gotta love Nashville, guys. I swear, we're having these pop-up storms today. This weather's like Jamaica. It really is. It's amazing. Yep, and here we are, back into the rain. Okay, we'll pick the clip up when we can. Always keeping it real with you. That's really what I wanted my content to always be about. We give you the pros, we give you the cons. And this car, even in the rain though, I felt very, very safe, very confident. And now that we're out, we can finally start enjoying it a little more. You can see with the tall gearing, I mean, I'm really staying between 4,000 and 5,000 RPMs the entire time. if I want to extract the performance, right? And I hope that you all can hear me on camera, because this engine, my God, is it good. But I tell you, you really don't need more than second and third gear. All the reviewers have always talked about that. Having said that, if you want to downshift to third and fourth, you still can. It's fun. You do get enough torque. But definitely, if you want to extract the performance of the vehicle, you know, you're going to need to keep the revs up. Like right there, if I really wanted to gun it, I would have had to have downshifted to second. You can short shift it a little bit like that. You don't necessarily always need to be running it all the way out to enjoy it. It is still pretty fast. We still are on the street here. But overall, very, very, very fun car. The PCCBs, unbelievably good brakes. Unbelievable. They will throw you through the windshield. Now they're warmed up right now and they're very progressive, but I'll tell you, if you do go out in this car when it's cold, you could very well have an issue with squealing. I want to be very clear about that. When you come to a light in this car and there's people around you and the brakes are cold, they're gonna squeal if you give them a little bit too much. Like if you're just coasting in, you can avoid the squeal. But if you're not, and you know, you have some speed, they're gonna make a squealing noise. And especially in the winter, if you're driving this car in the winter and they never really warm up, they're always gonna squeal. That is a negative about the brakes. But I gotta say, when you're doing some spirited driving like we've been doing, right? I mean, they work so well. They really, really do. They will legitimately put you through the windshield. I mean, it's just so much fun to run this car out. It's such a good car. How many cars can you do that, right? Full throttle shifts and not unbalance the car. Absolutely fantastic. All right, finally got out of that rain cloud. I mean, just such a good balanced car. You know, we're on the street here. I don't want to push it too much, but in the end of the day, you can go so fast in this car. It has the GT3 front suspension, so the steering feel is very tight. It is electronic, but they've really dialed it in. It's just so much fun to drive. So much fun to enjoy rowing through the gears. I'll be honest with you, I think dollar for dollar, the reason why the GT4 has always done so well in the market is because it's just so much car for the money. I mean, it's not just a good Porsche, it's just a great sports car. It really is. I really believe that you're gonna have a harder time finding a better weekend car. Now, these seats are a little uncomfortable, so if you want to take, like I said earlier, if you want to take a long trip, while you do have the convenience of the front and the rear trunk, you're probably going to want to option different seats. But if you want to take this car to the track, throw some race harnesses on it. And by the way, this car is built for the track. It is a track car. So while I'm driving it on the street, where majority of the miles of this car have been driven, which of course is the street, at the end of the day, it is a track car. So it's got 200 pounds of downforce. That's what the basically Porsche engineered Andreas and his team, you know, so it's got plenty of go fast downforce, really sticks. Got these Michelin Cup 2s. They're pretty much racing compound tires. I mean, they're one step away from the harshest racing tires you can get, pretty much. But they're great, you know, they really are. They feel pretty good on the street. You are going to pick up a lot of rocks, you know. If I were to run through that right now, you're going to hear click, 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 you know, all the little rocks are going to get picked up. So be mindful of that. But in general, the car is, it's really good. I mean, I don't know what else to say, you know. I don't know what adjective you want. Fantastic, phenomenal, world class. It's just really on point. They've dialed it in. You know, it's just such a good time with that engine. The 6-speed manual, the dying 6-speed manual, right? Yeah, I absolutely love it. I really do. I hope you heard right there those brakes. So those brakes are definitely going to be squeal and more or less on the annoying side. if they're cold. So just that little bit of non-spirited driving, it made them cold again. You know, when I was smashing on a little bit earlier, they warmed up just fine. But that's just something to be mindful of. You are driving the track car. I would say the steel brakes are more than enough for a majority of the people. The steel brakes, they look good, they're red, right? They've got nice slots in them. They're just really, really nice looking brakes. They're also very, very, very ample, I would say, for this car. I've had people tell me they go to the track with the steel brakes and they're fine, right? They don't wear out. Yeah, you might have to replace them once, maybe twice more than you're gonna have to with the ceramics, but when you do replace the ceramics, they're very, very expensive. So just be careful, you know, make sure, like this car right here hasn't been to the track. It's got some, you know, just overall road, you know, crud and some road rash, right? But in general, it doesn't show any track wear. So it's very, very, the brakes anyways have plenty of life left. I think you're gonna absolutely be able to see when you buy the car. You go check it out at Direct Auto. You'll see that the brakes, plenty of pad left. You know, there's a lot of water on the road right now, which is why I'm taking it easy. And you know, the car feels fine. I mean, I wouldn't want to really go 10-10 in the rain with these tires, but you could. You know, you still want to be mindful that you're driving a sports car. Now, you could probably hear it's pretty loud in here. You do hear a lot of the road noise. You know, you hear the bumps, you feel the bumps, you hear the exhaust, you hear the engine. You can make it quiet, but in general, it's pretty much always raunchy all the time, okay? Road right here. So this is a second gear pull, okay? That's 100 miles an hour right there, okay? So in the end of the day, you can see the car will do it all day long. As you come into the turn here, auto blip, hugs the road. Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic car. You just can't beat it. I mean, it is up there with the absolute best from Porsche. It's the lightweight, it's the feeling of the suspension, the brakes, the seats. Ugh. As a driver's car, I mean, I really don't know how you're gonna get better than this. I really don't. It is just that good. And I tell you, the more you beat on it, the more you give it the beans, right? The more you shift. In the end of the day, it just gets better, right? It's like things warm up, things start meshing. That's just the thing about Porsches. I feel like they always over-engineer their vehicles, right? And they do that so that you can enjoy them, right? I mean, this car, according to the owner, the previous owner, right, who is the original owner, she hasn't had any issues with the vehicle. And this is almost a 6-year-old car. And you know what? You're not gonna have any issues. Just listen to that. That's 5,000 RPMs in fourth. You know, absolutely great. Fantastic car. Fantastic car, beautiful roads. Hey, life is good, huh? I recently reviewed the Lotus Evora GT, and this and the Lotus Evora GT are the most compared vehicles, right? And they're very similar, right? They're both mid-engine. The Lotus actually has a little bit more power, but this actually feels faster. I don't really know why it is, because they're about the same amount of weight, but the way they've tuned it and the way this has so much more soul, right? So much more just like, it's very tight, it's very aggressive. The Lotus is a little softer, even in sport and race mode, you know, but don't get me wrong, I really liked the Lotus, I really did. I liked I liked everything really. I mean, the way it felt in the turns, I like the engine, I like the engine sound. You know, it has the supercharger whine. This, of course, is naturally aspirated. I would put the award for best engine sound to the GT4. I would put the handling dynamics of the chassis on par with each other. In some ways, the Lotus Evora was better, and in some ways, the GT4 just smokes it. I would say the brakes are better on this car. I would say the interior build quality, as good as the Lotus Evora is, this is still better. Now, when the new Emira comes out, we'll see, right? We'll see if this is still better as far as the quality. I mean, the stitching, you can hear all the amount of driving I've been doing. You know, in the end of the day, it's not rattling at all. The seats are very, very tight. It's just a fantastic place to spend time in. Everybody who sees this car and gets in this car and slams the door and sits in it, the number one thing they've said is, wow, it just is so nice. It feels so nice. That's the interior of Porsche. It doesn't look, you know, very je ne sais quoi. It doesn't have the appeal of some of the higher end cars, but the build quality is so good, and the materials and everything they use, you know, it's hard to beat. I mean, that's really the reality of it. So overall on this car, you know, I love it. I really do. I think it's fantastic. I think for the dollar, you have a real hard time getting a better car. Whoever's the lucky guy, I mean, because I want to be honest with you, I almost bought this car myself. I mean, it's just so good. It really is. I mean, there are not many cars that are going to give you this type of exotic thrill and performance and looks, yet at the same time, it's not ostentatious. It doesn't get any negative haters, right? You can still enjoy it, take the wife out to dinner. You don't always have to be going to the track and driving it like crazy. Overall, it's just the best of so many different worlds. You know, that's really what the GT4 nails. So I hope you all enjoyed the point of view driving and some of the clips. Unfortunately, we did have this really interesting, dynamic Jamaica-like weather day where it was super hot, super humid, and that created, you know, a lot of bad storms. I've had the camera overheat multiple times today, and it is what it is. You know, when you shoot in this type of heat and humidity, I just hope you all give me some credit for it. It's very difficult. I'm parched. You know, I could drink 10 gallons of water right now. But overall, I still love doing them. So hope you guys enjoyed the point of view. We're gonna go ahead and get into a wrap up, and yeah, we'll go ahead and call this one a day, I think. All right, everyone, I hope you guys really enjoyed the drive. I will tell you, because we had all this crazy weather, look at this. I don't know if you can even see it, but just that little bit of driving, right? This color does show a lot of dirt, but it's still not too bad, you know? It was a lot of fun driving it in the weather here. You can see we've got all kinds of crazy weather. At least it's not 100 degrees anymore, so from that point of view, I appreciate it. So I hope you all enjoyed some of the driving clips, the overview of the vehicle. I absolutely think this is just one of the very special cars that Porsche's made, and just in general, it's just such a fun car. It's just awesome. It's great, and I really hope that you all enjoy the content. And yeah, as always, please like and subscribe. Yeah, I think this one's it for me. I had a good time. Let's roll that beautiful drone montage and call this one a day, shall we? Talk to you guys later.